Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Noble Credit. Been having some technical difficulties, but hopefully this one works. If this does not work, then I'll give up for the night and we'll restart tomorrow. But hopefully we're all good to go. This video is about the Chase Sapphire Reserve and the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Which one's better? And for the 75,000 point sign up bonus offer, which is it's not a historic high, but it's a high for the Chase Sapphire Reserve especially since the Chase Sapphire Preferred is the one that usually has the higher sign-up bonus offer. Now we can compare apples to apples. All right. So without further ado, where's my music? All right. Player 2 says I'm good to go. I'm still good to go, player 2? Player 2, am I still good to go? Okay. No crazy sounds are going on right now? All right. Stay on, player 2. All right, guys. So with the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Chase Sapphire Reserve, these are two of the best travel credit cards on the market. The Chase Sapphire Preferred is more geared towards people who are dipping their toes into the points and miles community, while the Chase Sapphire Reserve is for someone who knows that they can get maximum value out of this card. I think that the best card to get is going to be the Chase Sapphire. Well, maybe let's go through some of the benefits, shall we? All right. And then after I finish going through the benefits, you decide whether it's worth it for you to get one of these cards. And I will leave a link in the description. You'll see a link tree in the description, but also I'll go ahead and throw that link, the link tree. Where's my link tree? Go ahead and toss this into the chat for you to apply. All right, everyone should see that. All right, hopefully everyone sees that. But for me, I personally have 3 Chase Sapphire Reserves. Now, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is a really good card. Now, why do I have 3? Well, I'm active duty military and I get the annual fee on all of my credit cards waived. But that's just me. That's just if you're active duty like me. If you're active duty, then it's an obvious choice. Get the Chase Sapphire Reserve. But if you are not getting the annual fee waived on credit cards like I am, then this becomes a bit more of a decision to make. And we're just going to go through the benefits as they are laid out for these 2 cards. So, player 2, you can see everything I'm doing. All right. Now, I did mention, wait, let's come back to me for a second. So I did mention that I have 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 of the Chase Sapphire Reserves.
But I have a credit card, so on you.
So, player 2, did you hear that? A little bit? It was very faint? All right, interesting. Okay.
Now, at the risk of being unpopular, this reporter places the blame for all of this
you hear that?
on you, the viewers.
It was no? Heard it a little bit. Okay.
Never heard of it.
So you never heard it. That one was good? Oh, you're hearing all of them a little bit. Except for the intro music. The intro music. The intro music was loud, but nothing else was. Player 2, what are you saying? All right, we just want to do sound effects right now. All right, player 2. Thanks. Later. All right, so let's go to my screen. All right, so with the Chase Sapphire Reserve versus the Chase Sapphire Preferred, they both have the same bonus right now, an elevated bonus offer. But with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, your bonus points are going to be worth more because using a Chase Sapphire Reserve and booking through the Chase Travel Portal, your points are going to be worth 50% more. Whereas with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, your points are going to be worth 25% more. Obviously, 50% more is more than 25% more, but now you got to weigh, is that extra 25% worth it? When you're spending a lot of ultimate reward points, it does tend to add up and become worth it. So in this case, with the same exact sign up bonus, you're getting an extra $225 out of it, which is nice. I like it. So we'll go ahead and add $225 to the difference right now, since they both have the same sign up bonus. The difference in what you would be getting. We have a lot of benefits to go through. So let's go ahead and start from the top. So with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, they offer a $50 Chase Travel Hotel credit. And they didn't used to offer this. So this is relatively new within the last, say, couple years that they offer this. Okay, I'm getting the message that the sounds are good. Player 2, if you hear me, go ahead and text me after I play this sound. Guys, I'm learning how to work my stuff right now, so
I'm learning.
So bear with me for a second. Player 2, text me. And I got Kevin Witherspoon Vlogs in the chat. What's good? Let's get back to the $50 Chase Travel Hotel credit. So it says earn up to $50 in statement credits each. Wait, let me make sure we're back on me. There we go. Sorry. Earn up to $50 in statement credits each account anniversary year for hotel stays purchased through Chase Travel. $50 makes a dent, but it's hardly going to pay for any hotel room generally. So it depends on how you value that discount. Whether, or on the other hand, the $300 travel credit that Chase Sapphire Reserve offers, you could easily get a hotel room or two with just that credit alone. Chase Sapphire Preferred, you're getting somewhat of a discount, basically $50 off whatever hotel room that you decide to book. Or in some places where hotel rooms are cheap, on the cheaper side, you can get that whole room for free. But those are very few and far between for someone, in the United States that can get a Chase Sapphire Preferred. I don't think I've ever seen a hotel room that cheap. Maybe in other countries I have, but so this benefit, Player 2, you didn't text me. This benefit is a good one, but it's like a dent maker. So this $300 travel credit is very liquid, and I think you can get easily the $300 of value out of it, but also it's not just a subsidy towards travel expenses. It could realistically cover a flight ticket. It could cover 2 hotel nights if you plan it correctly. I'm not going to say 3 hotel nights, like $70 per night. It could cover that. the Chase Sapphire Reserve's $300 travel credit covers a lot. Like I said, I have 3 of these, so I get every year $900 in liquid travel funds to book flights, to use it on. I try not to use my Chase Sapphire Reserves $300 travel credit on United Travel Bank, but if I have to, I have to. If I don't have any other use, I will. But yep, let's move on. So you're getting $300 worth of value. So starting from up here with the $225 difference between what the points are going to be worth, now there is a legitimate $250 difference between the travel credits that are offered, the annual travel credits. So now we're looking at $575 difference already. So right now we're leaning more towards the side of the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So points worth 50% more. We know this. We already know that. Partnership benefit value. Now you can see the Chase Sapphire Reserve is blowing the Chase Sapphire Preferred out of the water. However, there is a specific benefit in here that is taking up majority of this $1,000 worth of value, and that is, where is it? That is the Priority Pass Select membership, which is a good thing, but Chase's Priority Pass benefit is getting worse. Come this summer, after July, you won't be able to use your Priority Pass for Priority Pass restaurants. Priority Pass restaurants allow you and a guest to eat at a Priority Pass restaurant within an airport, and they give you $28 per person. So you get to spend about $56 for 2 people. I'll tell you, the last time I used the Priority Pass benefit with Chase, and some airport restaurants, they specifically say we only accept Priority Pass with Chase. That's probably going to change after July, but last time I used it was at BWI in Baltimore. They have a Priority Pass restaurant there that myself and Player 2 stop in there before we take off, and we just use our Priority Pass benefit, get $56 worth of free food, and then I guess you tip, and we're out of there. The time that we used it before that was probably, no, this was on the same trip where we used it in Nashville, and within Nashville, we're lucky that we were in the right terminal, because this was one of the better times that I've ever used a Priority Pass benefit, because we got to get the Nashville hot chicken. We got to taste that, and I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was like worthy of being the world famous Nashville hot chicken. I just thought it was okay. That's all. So most of your benefit is coming from the $469 for the Priority Pass benefit. Now, you will get $15 in statement credits each month through July 2024 for Instacart. I try to take full advantage of this because I have 3 Chase Sapphire Reserves, so 15, 15, 15, that's $45 per month. I order groceries with that, and then I try not to go over that $15 mark, so you can get around $45 worth of groceries for free if you're someone like me or someone in the military like me. And then you get the $5 in DoorDash credits through December 31st, 2024. And then you get a DoorDash Dash Pass subscription as well. And then you get a Lyft Pink membership. But this is through when you activate by December 31st, 2024. And this is you'll also earn 10x total points on Lyft rides through March 2025. Yeah, so some decent benefits in there. And then with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you get the $15 in statement credits each quarter, I can't really see that being worth it. I guess it is if you're just gonna, you're gonna use Instacart, then I guess it's gonna take $15 off your total order, but I don't think that's anything compared to the $15 per month, which is still quite small, but $15 per quarter, it's not really making that big of a dent. And then some of the same other credits that the Chase Sapphire Reserve has, it's just that the Chase Sapphire Preferred has them in either lesser quantities or lesser value. So like Lyft and the Peloton benefit and Instacart membership, DoorDash, Dash Pass, they have almost the same benefits, but with a lesser value. Now, hotels and rental cars purchased through the Chase Travel, I tend to use points when I'm purchasing through the Chase Travel portal, so I don't really get the full benefit out of this. But if I wanted 10x with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I could get that. Now, if you're someone that gets rental cars fairly often and you want to book them through the Chase Travel portal, then knock yourself out. You're going to get an extra 5x that you would have gotten with the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So this is an easy win. The Chase Sapphire Reserve is clearly winning right now because with this partnership benefit, you got to value, like, even if you only value the Priority Pass at half of what they're saying it is, $469, even if you only valued it at $250, at least currently, then the Chase Sapphire Reserve is currently up around $700. Was it $800 now? Because we had $225 worth of value from the sign-up bonus, $225 more, and then with $300 travel credit, we had $250 more, and so now we're at $200 or $575. And now, even if you only value the Priority Pass at $250, we're still at $725. Nope. Yeah, $725 right now. So, and that was just one benefit. And we won't even include the Instacart right now. Let's say you don't really do Instacart or Dash Pass. So we're already up $750. And we haven't even reached the point earning categories. Yeah, we'll call it $750 just to keep the math simple because I didn't write this down. All right, and then we got 3x points on travel after your first $300 spent on a Chase Sapphire Reserve, and 2x on travel for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Chase Sapphire Reserve wins. Dining purchases both have 3x. Airport lounge access, that's an NA for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. The Chase Sapphire Reserve, they're going to give you some lounge access with the Priority Pass. So, and also the Chase Sapphire Lounge by the club. So they've just recently started rolling these out. We'd have to see where these are located. Welcome to the Chase Sapphire Lounge by the club. Yeah, we'd have to see where these are located. Okay, we got Boston. Oh, there's one in Boston. I was just in Boston. Oh, I wish I would have looked. Where else do they have it? Okay, they have it at LaGuardia, JFK, Hong Kong. Vegas is coming soon. All these other ones are coming soon. All right. Okay, so it's not as popular right now, but they're coming. All right, they're on their way. And then the annual fees, $550 annual fee for the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and then $95 annual fee for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and $0 for each authorized user. So that's actually a good thing. At least the Chase Sapphire Preferred doesn't charge you a bunch of money, $75 for the Chase Sapphire Reserve for a authorized user. $0 for the authorized user. And then I also forgot to mention Global Entry, TSA PreCheck, or Nexus credit. What I should do, because I've been to Canada a few times within the past year, I should have gotten at least one of these credit cards to give me the Nexus credit, because when going into Canada, Nexus definitely works well. And I could have just used another credit card to give me Global Entry and TSA PreCheck. But Global Entry, everyone in this community, just go ahead and use one of your credit cards or use this credit card, apply for it. Link in the description. Also, link should be in the chat, at the top of the chat. Go ahead and get Global Entry for your international travels, because it's going to make getting back into the US, getting through customs a lot easier. It just is. Last time I came back into Newark and just walking straight through customs, it was just a breeze, and everyone else has to kind of wait in line. It's like, if you do some legwork, yeah, you just make traveling way easier for yourself. And then we have 10x on Chase Dining. I don't tend to use this because I just don't. But maybe you might. But all other dining, 3x. So they have a private dining series, which I guess is nice. Sit down for a memorable meal at some of the most sought after restaurants in the country. All right, so I'm thinking Michelin star restaurants, VIP access to events. Yeah, I'm always getting these emails about access to exclusive events. I never go, but it's nice to know that Chase is offering those. So you don't get an anniversary points bonus with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but you do with the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Each account anniversary, you'll earn bonus points equal to 10% of your total purchases made the previous year. That means if you spend $25,000 on purchases, you'll get 2,500 bonus points. This is not anything that should sway you toward the preferred, not even a little. Now, streaming purchases, if you're a big streaming purchases person and you want to put down on your Chase Sapphire Preferred, the lower annual fee card, you get 3x on streaming. That's pretty good. 1x for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Now, groceries. Online grocery purchases. Earn 3x points on online grocery purchases, excluding Walmart, Target, and wholesale clubs. So I would have to look up which categories. Anyone in the chat, go ahead and throw it in the chat if you know which categories or which stores online groceries would qualify for that 3x category for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Lyft purchases, Chase Sapphire Reserve, 10x over to 5x. DoorDash, Dash Pass subscription. Why is that such a mouthful to say? The $5 monthly credit, Instacart Plus membership. Yeah, my Instacart Plus membership has already expired because I've had my Chase Sapphire Reserves for a while. And then after a certain amount of time, after that first year of complimentary Instacart Plus, it goes away. Now, and then Peloton, if you like Peloton, cool. But I can hardly see that as a reason to sway you one way or another. Excuse me. Now, one of the big things about having a Chase Sapphire Preferred or Chase Sapphire Reserve is the travel protections that are offered. Chase Sapphire Reserve has some of the best travel protections of any credit card on the market. Here is a list of those. I tend to use the Chase Sapphire Reserve anytime I'm renting a vehicle because I get auto rental collision damage waiver, which is auto CDW, and that means I don't have to purchase the insurance from the rental car agency, and they will try to upsell you on that, and I gotta let them know, no, I'm good. Now, this does get a little tricky if you're driving a rental car that's worth more than $75,000. In this case, that's how much you're covered, up to $75,000. If you try to rent a car like me, when I was in Germany, I had an M3. that's probably not the best idea to go with the M3 when I could have gotten a car that was worth less than $75,000 and I would have been covered for the full amount of the car. Or, yeah, for the full amount of damage on the car. Now, if I, imagine if I had crashed that M3 and it was worth more than $75,000 and then I would have been up a hole. So, yeah, be cognizant of the value of the car that you're renting. So I just, me personally, I just wouldn't go above $75,000, like a car worth that much anymore. Because if you totaled one of those cars, then that's how much you would be on the hook for. All right, and so at the end, we have, the 60,000 point sign up bonus is now a 75,000 point sign up bonus. Which one do you go with? I think you should almost certainly go with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, simply because it's a better car, better or equal sign up bonus, more money in your pocket liquidly. Did I just invent a word? More money, more liquid money in your pocket from that travel credit, that $300 travel credit, more money that you can use with the same amount of spend, that $4,000 worth of spend within the first 3 months, 75,000 point sign up bonus, now worth $1,125 when booked through the Chase Travel Portal, which is how I use my Chase UR points. I always book through the Chase Travel Portal if I'm booking a rental car or even a flight. I typically don't book hotels through the Chase Travel Portal. Maybe I've done it once, but I also use points and I transfer them over to Hyatt when I need to, because Hyatt points are very valuable in this community. So let's get to the application. Before I get to application, let me check on. I'm going to check the chat. Just make sure. Okay, Mike Coe at 813, so 4 minutes ago, said, I speak on behalf of the entire chat when I ask this. Are you Team Kendrick or Team Drake? I'm probably going to get some hate, but I am Team Drake. Sorry. Drake has just made some of the best music that I've ever heard. I think he does not get the credit that he deserves in the rap community. I think Kendrick, while he is a very good lyricist, a very good rapper, a little overrated. And I think in this rap battle, people are showing how much they hate Drake more than they even like Kendrick. I've seen Drake say some really crazy lines in some of these diss tracks, and Kendrick has said some somewhat mid lines, and they're praising it as if he's like the second coming rapper. I just don't get it. I'm Team Drake. I understand that Drake is definitely losing based on public perception, but Drake is not losing because he got lyrically outmatched. He's losing for some weird tactics that happen. So, like if you really think that Drake can't rap, I would say When to Say When. Listen to When to Say When, like, and then tell me that Drake can't rap. I Give Me When says, I think the rap community is still holding on to Drake. And then I Give Me When says, Drake's reference tracks. And then the whole ghostwriting thing. Like, I've been listening to Drake since 2008. I can tell when something is written by Drake. It's just written a certain way. The ghostwriting thing is oversold. Like, people think that just because you had a ghostwriting rumor, you've never written anything after 2015. It's ridiculous. It Girl Cat says, what? Drake? Yes, Drake. I didn't think that I would turn this episode into a Drake podcast, but yeah, for the reasons that I stated, feel free to throw it in the chat if you feel some type of way. I Give Me One says the beef is taking over the world. All right, after we get through the application for those of you who need it, I'll talk a little bit more about Drake. All right, so first you want to start with your name, middle name. I never put my middle name on credit card applications, not anymore, just because it just makes things easier, and it's always optional. So just put your first name, so Greg, and then your last name, Greg Mason, and then your birthday. When were you born? Cinco de Mayo. And then put your mother's maiden name. Then put Jones. Put your social security number. Mine's is 555-55-5555. And then your address. And then I'm on 1928 East Madison Street, Baltimore, Maryland. Come see me. All right. Email address, whatever your email address is, emerald@.com. And then whatever your phone number is, my phone number is 555-555-5555. And then you would check the box for your social security number, make sure that that's your actual social security number. And then the type of residence, either you rent or your own. Either way, you put however many people you live with. Let's say it's 2 people. Put half. It's like you guys split the bill, even if you don't. So let's say your total rent is $2,000. You put $1,000. That's how much you pay. This is to help your debt to income ratio for when you get approved for the card, because you do have to get approved for $10,000 to get approved for the Chase Sapphire Reserve, as it is a Visa Infinite credit card. The Chase Sapphire Preferred is a Visa Signature credit card, and you only have to get approved for $5,000 in order to get that. But at a minimum, $10,000 for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So you want to make sure that that debt to income ratio is good to go. Now, employment status, you always want to put employed. Even if you own your own business, you always want to put employed, because it is credit card companies like to see consistent income. Imagine if you were applying for a mortgage, which is kind of, you're asking for a loan, basically, when you use a credit card. So imagine if you were a mortgage broker, and someone was trying to get some money from you. Would you rather they be a business owner or an employee, or if they had like a job, like a yob? You probably rather they had a job, because a job is going to pay you consistently, whereas a business could fail. All right. So your annual gross income is also the income that you bring in along with whoever you share financial responsibilities with. So let's say you live with your spouse and you guys both together make $100,000 together. And that's your total gross income. Instead of you made 75 and your spouse made 25. You guys, you would put your total gross income. Now, I do have to warn you. Now, the rest of this information, you don't have to click anything. This is just for going paperless. And then, would you like to add an authorized user? No, because it costs $75. And then you click this. I've read and agreed above, and then you click submit. I'm not going to click submit right now because I have to explain why it is a good idea to wait to apply for this card if you're in this situation. Chase has a rule called the 524 rule, which this month is technically 524. So it's a celebration, right? We're all celebrating, but not really, because we don't like this rule. The 524 rule prevents you from getting approved for a Chase credit card if you've been approved for more than 5 credit cards within the past 24 months. So within the past 2 years. I don't like this rule, but it is what it is. Chase has some of the best credit cards on the market. So I kind of have to guide toward the rules in order to get what I want out of Chase. I'm currently gardening. Gardening means to wait in order to go below the Chase 524 rule in order to get another credit card with Chase. I'm currently gardening because I would like to get a Chase Marriott credit card, at least another one, to upgrade to a Chase Ritz-Carlton credit card this winter. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that, but I have to hold off on credit card applications because I have been approved for more than 5 credit cards over the past 24 months. So I have to wait. Now, if you are in that situation where you have been approved for more than 25 credit cards, then wait, let me talk to you here. If you have been in that situation, then hold off on applying. Wait until you get below the Chase 524 rule, and then you apply. But the way, if you're not sure, and this is generally only going to be for people who get a lot of credit cards like churners, other people, you may never have to worry about the Chase 524 rule. You might just see the new elevated offering, you'll be able to apply and you're good to go. But for those of you who are heavy in the community, or if you've been applying for a lot of credit cards, you can check in Credit Karma, because Credit Karma is probably the best spot that I would check to see your 524 status. You would have to go to all the accounts that you've opened, and then they list out the accounts that you've opened by how many months you've had them open / years, and you can easily check that. So Credit Karma would be the resource that I would check to get a gauge on your 524 status. That's the one that I use. That's how I know this coming winter in December, that's when I will go below 524. As long as I don't apply for any credit cards right now. I Give Me Win says, I use Instacart, DoorDash, travel credit, and transfer credits. I value the ability to transfer at $95 because I wasn't able to use any of the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit. Gotcha. Interesting. It Girl Cat says that 524 knocked me out this year. Yeah, it's real out here. Joe says, any advice for airline status? Hate that American will not let me in the Admiral Club without having my uniform on, even with ID and orders. They haven't taken ATL. They haven't taken ATL 1. I don't know what ATL 1 is, but for airline status, Joe, you're talking about your military uniform, correct? Well, you can get the City A Advantage Executive Orderly MasterCard, and that's free for you. I have plenty of videos on that card, and you can go ahead and get into any Admirals Club that you want. That's what I would recommend. But you would have to gauge whether or not you want to apply for that card based on just what's available out there. So if you're under 524, you should probably guide towards getting Chase credit cards first before you go ahead and get City credit cards. But if that's what you really want to do, then that's what you want to do, and go ahead and get the City A Advantage, the American Airlines Advantage Executive Orderly MasterCard. It's a good card. I use it to get in the Admirals Club. I haven't been inside of an Admirals Club in a minute, and I remember the last time I was in one, it might have been like a tie, or it might have been a tie between that and another lounge, but I mean, it was fine. It wasn't that bad. I do not remember when that was. It wasn't Miami because I didn't fly into Miami. I flew into Fort Lauderdale and drove to Miami. So yeah, any questions in the chat? I'm here to answer. And then maybe I'll talk a little bit more about the Kendrick Lamar beef. And then once you get approved, you can go up to people and go,
But I have a credit card, so on you.
yeah. And shout out to everyone who's tuned into the stream. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Some of you guys have the weirdest names. All right, but the Zomba Slayer, what was his name? The Zomba Slayer
Shut up! I love that name.
says, I think it's, or thoughts on the Altitude Reserve. I think it's a real competitor to the 1.5 cents per point in the Chase portal with the Reserve minus the $250 effective annual fee. Yep. So I have two. I don't have my wallet on me right now. I have two Altitude Reserves, and I agree. It is a strong competitor. Chase cards, they just hit a little bit harder. They have a little bit more exposure. So that's why you probably hear about those more. But also the Altitude Reserve, it's just a decent low key credit card. Like that $325 travel credit is even more than the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So that's really why I have two of them. And I need to use the travel credit on that second one that I received. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I like the card. I have two. That's my thoughts. Gabe's Gone says, Chase United Infinite give you access to United Lounges. Yeah, I also have that one. And then within the military, they say if you bring leave orders with you, you can get into the United Lounges for free as well. So I've never done it just because I have the United Visa Infinite credit card. But maybe the next time I go on leave, I won't use my. Nah, that's not going to work because they're going to ask me to scan my boarding pass, and then my boarding pass is going to say that I have access to the lounge. So I may not really be able to do it. But people have said that being in the military, they can just show them some leave orders. For me, being in the Navy, I don't know what that's going to look like if I need to show them an NSIPS approval number or something like that. But that's yeah. If you don't have the Chase United Visa Infinite credit card, which I recommend because I like that card, I like the United cards, then you can go ahead and apply. You can go ahead and apply for that using the link in the link tree. And I have a couple of videos on that if you're interested. Mike Coe says, recently, 3 days ago, got approved for the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve. What? My man got approved. Hang on. Uh-oh. I can't find a good sound effect for that. Well, I don't have a sound effect for that, but that's great. I like that. So he says, I'm honestly surprised I got approved for the card. I previously had 14 credit cards, but now 15. All I did was open a checking account. Yes. And I just replied to a comment earlier today. Years ago, when I was trying to get a US Bank Altitude Reserve, you did need a relationship with the bank, which you still do in order to get approved. But because I didn't live within the footprint of US Bank, they wouldn't let me get a checking account. But if you're in the military or something like that, you can get a checking account with US Bank, I guess nowadays, or possibly if you're civilian. So you'd have to look this one up. Someone in the chat might be able to point you in the right direction. But you can now get something like a checking account, which before I would have had to get a credit card and open that to establish the relationship But now a checking account doesn't cost you a hard fuel. So now I think it's better. And that change would have had to have happened within the past 2 years. Joe says, if you didn't have to pay the annual fee, what would your strategy I'm guessing you mean if I did have to pay the annual fee, what would my strategy be? My strategy would be slightly different if I had to pay annual fees. Some of the hotel, and it depends on your income. So I have we have like 10 plus hotel credit cards total. So all those are pretty high annual fees. Now, would we have those if we got the annual fees waived? No. But there might be a reason to have maybe 1 or 2 of those. That's probably a good idea. Now, having as many hotel credit cards as we have, technically when we go on vacation and we stay in these properties, it's technically worth it even if you did have to pay the annual fee. But I don't know if I would live like that if I didn't. So maybe like 1 or 2 hotel credit cards. But as far as like point earning credit cards, would I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve if I had to pay the annual fee? Depends on how much I traveled. If I traveled fairly often, it would be strongly related to that Priority Pass benefit. So that $300 travel credit plus the Priority Pass benefit would probably do it for me to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve. If I didn't travel as much, I probably wouldn't get the Chase Sapphire Reserve. There has to be a lower annual fee in order to get you into the points and miles community, and that would be the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and that would be my me dipping my toe in to the points and miles community, because I do think that is the best toe dipper card out there, the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Jeffrey Williams. Wait a second. Jeffrey Williams.
Shut up! I love that name.
Says, what would be the easiest co-branded card with Chase? The easiest one to get approved for? So Chase has, where's my, okay, I got the list of all the Chase credit cards right now. I'll go ahead and share my screen with you. So the easiest co-branded card to get approved for. So most of these cards I do have. Like, I used to have the Chase Freedom Unlimited. I used to have the Freedom Flex. The Freedom Rise didn't exist until like last year. I've had the Slate Edge before. I've had this Chase Sapphire Preferred before. I have 3 Chase Sapphire Reserves. Never had an Amazon card, even though these are nice. This would actually probably be the easiest. The Amazon card's probably going to be the easiest to get approved for. They are Visa signature cards, so they're going to give you a minimum credit limit of $5,000. But actually, I shouldn't say that they're the easiest, because there are cards that are not Visa signature cards that can be easier to obtain. The United Explorer card is on that easier side. The Southwest cards, they're relatively easy to get. Even for Visa Infinite credit cards, like the United Club is still an easy card to get approved for. Now the Aeroplan card, I have this card, or Player 2, she has this card. And so I don't personally have the Aeroplan card, but because Player 2 has it, then that technically means that I have it, because
Homegirl don't even have to work. Homegirl get that paper all on her own.
so she has the Aeroplan card. Let me get you back on the screen. This is a fairly easy card to get approved for. The Bonvoy Balance, pretty easy. Bountiful, I haven't been approved for the Bountiful, but I am going to try my hand at it once I go below 524. Mainly for the points, like the points. The IHG card, it's a World Elite card, but it's fairly easy to get approved for. Don't even look at these Disney cards. The Hyatt card, I would say the Hyatt card isn't easy. If you're under 524, all these are pretty easy to get approved for. I'm not saying, oh, you can have a 550 credit score, but if you have a score in the 700s, there's no reason why you shouldn't get approved for any of these cards. And then some of these don't even look like the Iberia, unless you're flying to Madrid or flying from Madrid anytime soon. Don't get cards like the Iberia or the Aer Lingus, the British Airways, unless you're flying within or from the UK anytime soon. And even if you were, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. I almost wish that we didn't have that Aeroplan card, because that was actually a bad move on my part. But we still have those points. We still have those. I think it was like 75,000 Aeroplan points at the time. Where is it? Did I lose the Aeroplan card that quickly? Yeah, so the bonus is 60,000 right now, but I think back then when we got it last year, it was like 75,000. So we still have those points, which is good, but we have to find a way to use the Aeroplan points not going through or to Canada, which is going to be a fun thing to do because that's generally where Air Canada flies to and from. But booking through Air Canada doesn't necessarily mean that the carrier is going to be Air Canada. So it's not a death sentence if you get approved for something like the Aeroplan card and you don't necessarily have any reason to go to Canada. The Zomba Slayer says, I applied for the Active Reserve on Saturday, got the pending message, called customer service for the manual review yesterday, still haven't heard anything back though. Yeah, give it a couple days. You might just go ahead and see. So what happens is they're always going to go to pending. And then within a couple days, probably tomorrow by noon, you'll probably get an email that says, hey, you've been approved. Hopefully. That's generally been my experience with applying for the Active Reserve, and I've applied for multiple. So that's just how they do. They pretty much never approve you just up front. They always got to go through that back end system. The Zombie Slayer says, I opened a savings account and a CD for $3,000. Okay, nice. Joe says, I'm thinking Hilton Aspire, then Delta Reserve. Hardest part is spreading out the welcome offer. Not all of us can spend $6K in 3 to 4 months on average. Have to wait for Black Friday to max benefits, Rakuten, etc. Yeah, I get it. You have to time using your bonus with a time that you're going to be spending a lot of money. Not everyone is spending all that money within such a short period of time. A lot of times you can prepay insurance, but you can only do so much within such a short window of time. So I think, yeah, you're doing the right thing. Now, when you say Hilton Aspire, then Delta Reserve, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's going to matter more on how you're able to get that spend done. But if you are, whichever one you go for, I do have links to both of those cards for the welcome bonus. So if you want to support the channel, feel free to use those links. Tim McDonald. Okay, Tim McDonald says, in Orlando, any recommendation on Waldorf Astoria versus New Conrad? The Waldorf Astoria. Yeah, generally the Waldorf Astoria is going to be better. Now, it depends on what credit card you have, right? So if you have an American Express Platinum card, check FHR just to see how much the rooms are costing using the Fine Hotels and Resorts credit. If you don't have an American Express, or you just have a Hilton American Express Platinum and you just have a Hilton Aspire card, whichever points redemption is going to be better. We can go ahead and check. Good question. We can go ahead and check. Let's do it. One of my lights went out. All right, so right now I just applied the filter to the Waldorf Astoria and the Conrad in Orlando. Looks like that Conrad, since it's new, appears pretty sold out. You kind of got to compare the use of points. Let's change the date to July 19th through the 20th. Update. Yeah, so even from a points redemption standpoint, the Waldorf Astoria is like worth way more. So I would say the Waldorf Astoria definitely, and does being worth more. Oh, that's not the standard room. What's the standard room rate? The standard room rate might not be available for this night, and that's why it's saying that. Okay, so what happens is, because this is showing 209,000, that means the standard room rate isn't available for this day. So let me see if it's available on like July 16th through the 17th. It should be. Update. Yeah. Okay. So now they're equal price. Yeah, it's really gonna depend. I've never been to either, but it's gonna depend on which pictures and which location suit you a little bit more. Clearly the same exact price. This is a brand new hotel. Hopefully they got all the kinks worked out. Location could play a big deal for you, even though they don't look that far apart. It's not like one is in, East Orlando and the other is in West Orlando. They're literally both in the exact same type of area from each other. They're like 3 miles away from each other. So it's going to depend on the amenities that you like. So that's how I would decide. But I do understand why you had that question, just because they're both 90,000 points per night. All right, back to me. And so I'm assuming that you asking that question means that you have a Hilton Aspire. Do I have that correct? Tim McDonald. Oh, you have Tim McDonald has 3 Aspires. Well, Tim, you might have to be the guinea pig on this and just stay at one and the other. Stay one night at one and then the other 2 nights at the other 2. Oh, sorry. Man, I cannot speak that well.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
I just cannot speak. Stay at the Conrad for one night and then go over, since it's like 3 miles away, and stay the next 2 nights at the Waldorf Astoria. Are you really, even if one's worse, did you really lose? And then that's how you determine if you're stationed there or if you're going there for vacation. That might be how I would decide, unless there's a amenity that you really enjoy. Now, also there's some research you can do, but you, since it's new, you're kind of guinea pigging it. So you're gonna do that legwork for us and then report back to us and let us know, because in Orlando, I'm always seeing offers to go to Orlando. I'm not heading to Orlando anytime soon. All my vacations are pretty much, I'm heading out of the country. I'm not trying to go down to Orlando. Not that Orlando is bad. Orlando is a fine spot, but Orlando just offers value. Like, I'm not saying Orlando's like Vegas value, but Orlando just offers value. There's so many hotels. There's so many resorts. It's just a nice, it's just a nice spot that offers a lot because of the amusement park. But yeah, Tim McDonald, you got to do that legwork for us and let us know what's better, that new Conrad. So next time I go live or next time one of these videos, let us know. And then, yeah, so go ahead and do that legwork for us.
Elbow grease won't fix, so let's roll up our sleeves and...
Yeah, so that's pretty much what you got to do. Joe says, being military, do you want to give any other perks out? Caesars matches military ID with platinum status. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Caesars matches you with Caesars platinum status if you're military, which is good because that Caesars platinum status gives you access to that 4 nights, 5 days in the Bahamas. I think once a year, which is a trip that I will take eventually, but I just have trips lined up that it's not in the cards, at least for this year. Possibly next year. I also just came from Boston and I got a little trick for you guys. So I use an FHR credit to stay at the Encore. The Encore is owned by, I believe his name is Steve Wynn. Steve Wynn is like this millionaire tycoon who owns Wynn and Encore hotels. And you might know the Encore or the Wynn from Vegas, where there's an Encore in Boston, and it's really nice. It's super nice. In fact, I met 50 Cent while I was there. But they have this really nice benefit. If you're military and you sign up for their players card, you get a free night there every year. It's kind of like having, one of these hotel credit cards, but it's for a casino hotel. So that might not actually be that good of a deal for you if you have a gambling problem. But if you don't have a gambling problem and you just want to stay in a nice hotel, oh my God, go to my Instagram and you can see that room. That room is so nice. All right, I got some comments. Oh, Mike Cole, my bad. I didn't mean to skip your comment. You said, I'm making a trip to Asia in October. Nice. By chance, do you know if I'm able to use my FHRs nights consecutively back to back? No. I currently have 5 platinums. So my strategy is to use them for 5 nights. So you're not going to be able to use them consecutively back to back. You're going to have to switch hotels. Now, this might change how you move, but that's how it goes. Unless you had a player 2, then you could do 2 nights. But then after those 2 nights, then you would have to switch hotels, because then someone would either get suspicious, or you could stay at the same hotel if you had a player 2, and then you just kind of hide when it's time for them to check in or check out. That would probably be better if you guys had separate last names. But they don't allow you to stay in a room if there's less than 24 hours between the time of you staying in. So for instance, let's say we did 3 p.m. check-in, 3 p.m. check-in, and then we stayed that night, and then there's 11 a.m. checkout. So 3 p.m. to 11 a.m. and I checked out. Let's say player 2 decided to check in got early check-in at 12, so an hour later. Remember, I checked out of my hotel at 11 a.m. and I hid in the corner and player 2 checked in the hotel and I went upstairs. From 11 a.m. now to the next 11 a.m., that is about 24 hours. So you would have to wait like the requisite amount of time in order to check in. So is it doable? It's doable, but you got to hope that the receptionists don't understand what you're doing. All right. So that would be my advice for that. And then even if some hotels are so big that there's just no way that they could possibly even comprehend what you're trying to do. For instance, in Boston at the Encore, if we would have pulled something like that, which we did not because I'm all about exploring. So we stayed at the Encore and then we stayed at the Langham. And but if we had done it, then it's a casino hotel that like people are in and out. Like their operation is so militant. They don't have time for people to be there at the time that you check in, and then at the time that you checked out the next day, that same receptionist is going to be there. I've had it happen. We generally have that happen a lot. Like the same people that check us in, the same people that check us out, but not at a place like the Encore. So it does depend on the type of property that you're staying at. Joe says, then the status go round won't go into details, but our military brothers can get free cruises for free. No, Joe, you're gonna have to expand on that. Jeffrey Williams says, man, I probably won't never see the light of day with a Chase card. I currently have 23 cars and I've just been approved for 4 cars this week. Unfortunately, I do have a Chase account. Nice. 23 cars and you just got approved for 4 this week. Okay. Fair. And maybe one day. You know, it does take a lot out of me to garden like this, but maybe one day you'll garden and you'll be back. To McDonald's says go back and forth. Yeah, that was my just stay in one hotel and then check out and then go back and forth. You can mix it up like that. Joe says Vegas Conrad is an easy way to break even with Amex Platinum perks. Yeah, that Conrad at the end of the strip. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Joe says, how do you get a free stay at the Wynn? With Wynn Platinum says at 2 different stays, you get a. Hang on. Okay. You're saying you get with Wynn Platinum says at 2 different stays, you get a 7 night free cruise or 7-day free cruise with Holland Cruise Lines. I'm gonna look this one up. In fact, everyone come join me. Come join me because this is groundbreaking if this is correct. So Wynn hotels, and we're just gonna look up the status. Fine. Wynn rewards. So Wynn is the same. Encore and Wynn, they're the same program. At least let me make sure that they're the same program. Encore. it's the same rewards. Okay, so with platinum, you get complimentary. Wait, sure, right one. Okay, annual rewards. With platinum, you get complimentary Holland America line cruise for 2. Birthday free credit. Like some of these benefits. Anyways, complimentary spa credit, $100. Complimentary birthday dinner, $150. Complimentary win master classes for 2 guests. 2. Some rounds of golf. Complimentary Encore Boston Harbor hotel stay 1 night. Wait a second. So the guy at the desk when I was in Boston, he told me we get 1 night stay free per year. You type in Encore Boston. Win rewards. Oh, it doesn't want to tell you all the win rewards here. So your comps. Okay, now it's okay. So this changed based on the hotel that you were staying at. Yeah, okay. So Platinum gives you a complimentary annual Encore Boston Harbor hotel stay with Platinum status. Now, there is a way that you could probably call the Encore or the Win in Vegas and be like, hey, could I actually do the Vegas one instead of Boston one? They'd probably be like, yeah. But unfortunately, I don't see that cruise for this one. Okay, so I guess that's just, man. Now I wish I'd signed up for a card in Vegas. Cause okay, so this one's for Vegas. And I would be surprised if they didn't give you platinum status in a casino being military. But if they did, then you would get this complimentary Holland America cruise line. And let's go to the double stars. Cruise. Okay, so yeah, you request it through basically there's a form and then they'll email you back within 72 hours. That's an interesting one. It's my first time hearing about that, but that's a really good idea. Okay, Joe says yes. I'm guessing that was in response to something we previously talked about. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Shut
Jesus
up!
Christ.
I love that name.
Says, just cop the Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite because of you. You still like it? Of course. That's why I got 2. That's why we got 2 over here. Joe says, it's the status match merry-go-round. Why do you call it the merry-go-round? Mike Cole says, I ain't gonna lie. we are eating good tonight. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in. It's the ticket to this type of information, of course. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button because this is good information. You know, it's not just me giving good information. It's people in the chat. No, they're sharing really good information. Joe says not to go into much detail. You can get another free cruise by status matching to Ocean Casino in Atlantic City. You get another 10-day cruise with MSC when platinum is earned only by status matching in Vegas. Dang. Okay. It's a good thing that Vegas is like a cheap spot to get to because I might have to just make a trip to Vegas. All right, I'll add that to possible plans though. That's a good idea. Jesus Christ says, "What's your favorite?" And it basically you saying get another, and then do another status match in Atlantic City. So probably have to drive to Atlantic City. Jesus Christ says, "What's your favorite way to cash out the $300 travel incidental credit in the Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite?" It's so liquid, but you can. Sorry, hang on. I'll come right back. Merry-go-round. As one card expires, you use one casino card to match to the one that expires. So it's like one of your win rewards card, your player card. You saying when that expires, so one card expires, you use the one casino card to match the one that expired. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you just go back and forth. So the win platinum status, you match that to Atlantic City, and then you get that player's card in the Atlantic City. When that's about to expire, you match it back to win. But this also means that you would have to keep making those trips back and forth, right? Because you can only status match at the location, correct? You would either have to get lucky and just happen to be there, or you have to plan it. But the cost of going back and forth is less than the cost of what it would take for two people to go on two separate cruises for free. Is that what you're saying? And Jesus Christ.
Shut up! I love that name.
To answer your question, what's your favorite way to cash out $300 travel incidental credit in Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite? Anytime I'm trying to cash out, I use United Travel Bank. Now, if there's a way to get the value liquidly out of a travel credit, such as the Chase Sapphire Reserve, then I just buy a flight or something, or you could buy a hotel with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. But that's how I would do it. Use United Travel Bank, and I have plenty of videos on that. Someone in the very beginning asked me about the Drake beef as well, and just seeing if anyone had any thoughts on that. I already gave my 2 cents. By the way, like button, do that. Because if you don't hit the like button,
then I will unleash the electroid robot on your kingdom, my dear.
So Joe says, yeah, but if you keep getting the free cruises plus using the Amex Platinum at Conrad Vegas, you're breaking even or at best in the positive. Yeah, but you would definitely want to be in the positive. I'm gonna have to consider this because you almost definitely want to be in a positive. I'll have to see how much the FHR is for the Conrad Vegas. Because I've stayed there. I've stayed there at Resorts World, where the Conrad and Crockford's is. Crockford's is obviously the most expensive out of the three. Yeah. I'm not concerned about the port fees and taxes. Great. It's just how much does it cost in order to even get to Vegas and get the status and then get back to Atlantic City and then do it all over again? That cost, is that worth it? Yeah, and that's per FHR. When I paid was about so you use the FHR and it was $200 total, or $400 and you pay $200 out of pocket with the FHR. But anyways, this is stuff that I can look up, but the value proposition would have to be so good. It has to be like Caesars level value, where all you got to do is go to your nearest Caesars casino, which for me, I did a status match. Wait, yeah, I'm pretty sure I just did a status match, and I should have Caesars platinum status. And that's how you can get the credit, because we have a Caesars here in Baltimore. It's not live casino. It's just called Caesar something. I forget what it's called. Yeah, so Joe, that $200 so that adds to the expense that you paid to get the benefit. So I would have to calculate if the expense is worth it. But with that Caesars benefit, that's a benefit that you can spend $0 out of pocket on, except for the eventual 4 nights, 5 days in the Bahamas, and you got to pay resort fees unless you get status matched diamond status to Caesars, and then that's when they waive the resort fees. But you would have to figure out a way to status match to diamond status, which might be possible. You might have to get Wyndham Diamond in order to do that, which maybe Wyndham Diamond now accepts Hilton Diamond status for a status match, but I don't know. I don't know yet. I would have to re-engage and re-research this, but this is good, guys. We really do try to take advantage of the situation, being military with the banks. So you got to get used to being a part of this community, because we're trying to find the best deals, but also we're trying to maximize our service. You serve the country. Maybe you want to go on a cruise, you want to go around the world, trip around the world, and do it for the low, or do it for, super subsidized or next to nothing or free. This is probably the channel that you should subscribe to, log into, watch the live streams, because it's just a lot of good content that gets put out here. Even some of it not even by me, some of it is by people in the chat. So engage with the community, be a part of this community, and you too can do some of the things that some of the people in this chat. I know, I think Gabe's Gone just came from the Maldives, which is insane, because I'm certainly not doing that Maldives trip. The amount of money that you got to pay for the private flight transfer once you get to the Maldives to the Waldorf Astoria, just not worth it. Not worth it for me, because that $900 or $1,000 that you got to pay per person round trip, that's money that you could have spent going to like another country, plus staying at some hotels. Like you could have had a lot of stops instead of that one spot. Okay, Joe says Holland Cruise, when you pay tax, port fees, Ocean Cruise Atlantic City, MSC, cruise, no port fee or tax. Okay. Yeah, I'll look this one up. Appreciate that info, Joe. Jesus Christ says just tuned in. Did you already apply for one of the Sapphires? Oh yeah. So I didn't actually apply for it. I walked you through the application and I just showed you how to get approved for it. So if anyone is interested in applying for credit cards, here's a link. Joe says Ocean Casino status matches, but Jesus Christ, I have 3 Chase Sapphire Reserves, so I've been approved for a couple of those cards. But with that new 75,000 point sign up bonus, yeah, this would be the time to apply for a Chase Sapphire Reserve. Granted that you are under the Chase 524 rule, and I've already gone over that. Mike Cole says, I've had a long-term trip planned for the Maldives, but after comparing the cost of one trip that could easily equate to 3 or 4 trips, it makes sense to just travel elsewhere instead of the Maldives. Yeah, like I'm right there with you. Like you can go to Madrid, you can go to Barcelona, you can go to Dubai, you can go to somewhere in Africa if you want to go to. You can go to Seychelles, East Africa. You can go around Europe for just the price of trying to do some of that. I shouldn't call it goofy, but the price of doing the Maldives trip, it's just astronomical compared to where you could go. You can go to South America if you feel like. You can, hop around a few countries in a few days or within 2 weeks. Like, yeah, the price of that one trip to Maldives, especially the way that we do it, the way that we get crazy value out of FHR credits and all these travel perks and travel credits, and the way that we can utilize points and free nights, certificates. A lot of times our trips can be free or, next to free as you can get. It's just, there's no way to get around that Maldives private transfer. But for the experience, it's worth it. It's not worth it, but for the experience, if you have the money, like the only time that I would do that, if I knew it really was nothing to spend that money, because
I'm gonna be rich.
then I would do that. But until then, we gotta save our ducats and get to the spots within. Because within like $2,000 that you spent on that, you could have just went to other places. Gabe's Gone says best trip ever, especially with 6 Aspires to subsidize the $1,200 of $1,000 per night Waldorf Astoria. Oh, of the $1,000 per person Waldorf Astoria yacht transfer. Yeah, that is a great trip, and the rest of us, I guess we just need to get our money up. But yeah, Gabe's Gone says, I'm over 20 years in. Credit card game is what keeps me from retiring. Really? Is that good, Gabe? Over 20? That's good though. Are you over 20? Like which service? Gabe. And to answer Jesus Christ, yes, 3. Air Force. He said he's in the Air Force.
We're the masters of land and sea.
I'm Navy. So with Michael says, so with multiple Aspires, are we allowed to use those consecutively? Yes. Versus the FHR, which we are not allowed to. Yes. Michael says, anyone here in the Space Force? I don't think anyone is in the Space Force. At least. Yeah, I don't think anyone's here in the Space Force. But if you are, show yourself. Let us know who you are. So, Joe, I've heard about Armed Forces Vacation Club. But I've never used it. I couldn't imagine something like that being more lucrative than like the credit card game. Jesus Christ says, what's your MOS? Thanks for your service. I'm a cyber warfare technician. But that's about as much as I can say about that because
They can't discover my true identity.
yeah. Anyone got any more? Oh, Jesus Christ says, that's what's up. So IT? No, I'm not an IT. Kind of, but not really. You can think of it like IT, but I'm not IT. I do, in my opinion, much better stuff than what an IT would do. All right, to wrap this up, guys, we went over the benefits of the Chase Sapphire Preferred versus the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and it looks like the Chase Sapphire Reserve comes out on top, so I recommend applying for this one, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, if you are under 524 and you're looking to get the most value out of a credit card. If you're trying to dip your feet into the credit card community to the points and miles hobby, no, there's nothing wrong with getting a Chase Sapphire Preferred. But the Chase Sapphire Reserve is the better card at the moment. Now, a lot of times the Chase Sapphire Preferred wins because it usually has the elevated sign up offer, but this is for a limited time and they both have the same offer. And in this case, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, in my opinion, would be the winner based on everything that we went through. We went through the $300 travel credit. We went through how much money your points will be worth. So a lot of information that we went through. If you need to hear more of the information that we talked about, just go back to earlier during the stream. That $300 travel credit, that's major though. That's one of the main benefits. It says take advantage of the most flexible travel credit available by receiving up to $300 in statement credit reimbursements each anniversary year for more of your travel purchases than any other card. Technically, not any other card. The U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve would be winning that because it gives you $325 in travel credits. But yeah, that's
The end. That was a great story. Isn't reading fun?
Any more questions before we get out of the stream? And everyone who contributed to the chat, thanks for all the information. We'll go ahead and the City Strata. City doesn't have a new credit card right now, do they? Joe, how can I hit you up? Did you message me on Instagram or something? Jesus, are you saying that city just came out with like a new card or something? Like I've heard rumors of the city Strata, but I guess I haven't checked the city's website to see if they had any credit cards available right now. That any new cards? Yeah, I don't see any new cards for city. Ziza says they just announced that the premiere is closing applicants on May 9th. Good. You know, the premiere was a good card, but I never liked the premiere because City was supposed to waive the annual fee for me when I applied for the premiere, but they didn't. And they made me have to eat that annual fee. That's the only annual fee that I ever ate. I had to eat that annual fee. Gabe's gone says Strata isn't out till the 16th. CC says, what are your thoughts on the Qatar card? I haven't even seen this. What's the Qatar card? There's a new Qatar Airways credit card. Applications open. What bank is it with? Oh, I see. Applications just went live today. Well, I'll be in Abu Dhabi soon. Sooner. Aziza said the Qatar card is mid. Yeah, I'll have to look up some of these cards you guys are talking about because, like the Strata, I was familiar with it, but I'll have to look up to see what the Strata will be offering. But yeah, bye to the city premiere. Gabe's Gone says 5K spend for 50,000 Avios points is their best offer with $499 annual fee with QA lounge access. Joe says no IG, no X, just old officer. Open out, not sure how to PM. Yeah, Joe, I'll say make a burner IG account, but yeah, stay in the chats. Make sure you have the notification bells on so when I go live, you can jump in the chat and help out any way you can, like you said. Yeah, so hopefully, none of you were planning on getting the city premiere because
Now it's too late.
So any more questions you guys have? And then I didn't even realize that the Strata was coming out, man. And the Qatar card. Like you guys just leveled on a bunch of news on me just now, and apparently it was today that it just launched. Man,
It's always something, isn't it?
yeah, Jesus Christ, I did like the Prestige. I have one Prestige. But for all of you out there, for all of you credit soldiers out there, all these credit cards you guys have, just just let people know that.
But I have a credit card, so on you.
Just tell them that. I use the Prestige for the $250 travel credit. I don't really use it for like to earn points or anything. Yeah, but when they mentioned the Qatar card, I was like, yeah, I'm glad you guys told me, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing that rollout. I don't think that's a card that any military can get for free or anything, that Qatar card. So, but the Strata card definitely. So I'll look into that for you guys, and hopefully we'll go live and we'll be able to talk about it. But hopefully you've enjoyed. Wait, Jesus Christ says Strata bonus is 75K after spending 4K within 3 months. Same points earning with additional 3x on EV charging. Same $100 hotel credit. Same $95 annual fee. Oh, it's not even. I didn't even realize the City Premier had a $100 hotel credit. But okay. Okay, I'll have to look up to see what those differences are. But hopefully you enjoy this live stream. Double credit. I will be going live more and more often. I gotta get back with Sledge because he sent me an email to be a part of one of his next videos. So I gotta get on that. But you will be seeing me around fairly soon. Jesus Christ says it's like the Premiere with a different name, I guess. You know how they are. But yeah, Snowball Credit. We are a little different over here on this channel.
It's different.
We really try to take advantage of the banks, of all of our benefits, and use it just to our advantage to live a life, taking cruises, trips around the world. You can really do a lot of the stuff that we talk about for real. We got people in the chat that really just came from the Maldives. People are going on vacation trips to Asia. I'm going on a trip around the world. This past winter, I was in Switzerland and Italy and Canada, Waldorf Astoria, Park City, and Vancouver. I just came from Boston just to go up there to visit the USS Constitution. So we do it pretty big. Like even last summer, I did a little tour around Europe, and I didn't deploy to these places. I just went there on my own dime or on my own free dime because I use credit cards to help me travel the world for free, along with Player 2, and it's been worth it thus far. So if you are interested in being part of a community like this, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm talking about on this channel, go ahead and apply for your cards using the link in the chat, in the description. That link tree has all the cards in it, all the American Express cards, all the Chase cards. And yeah, I think that does it for us. Thank you for everybody who has tuned in and who is still here at the end. Oh, bravo to you. You made it to the end. So make sure on your way out you leave that like. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. And Jesus Christ says, later, big bro. Later. Peace. Get you a nice skeletal laugh on your way out.